What's up, guys? I am Kate with TypeMatch, and today I am going to give you guys some advice because it has become very apparent to me that people suck at having conversations because I'm just seeing post after post on Instagram about getting stuck in small talk. And I gotta tell you, I never have boring conversations like ever anymore. And the reason I don't have boring conversations anymore or get stuck in small talk is because I just flat out refuse to. I think that people don't realize that conversations are a total two-way street and you can steer it any direction you want to at any point. It's totally up to you. You don't just have to respond to what you were given. You can initiate something new. And maybe this is like I'm at an unfair advantage as a person who is quite extroverted and used to initiating and practicing this as like sort of, I view conversation as like a skill that I have developed over time because it's super important to me to have good conversations for the sake of the other person and for the sake of myself. So this is how I do it. It's super simple, but it's become apparent that a lot of people don't know this. All right, let's say a person comes up to me and they're like, "Hey, how's it going?" And they're starting up small talk. It's then up to me to direct that to something more interesting that I want to talk about. So I can still respond to that. I'm not going to be rude. I'm going to be like, "Oh, I'm great. Actually, I've just been reading this really interesting book. It's about da 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 da. And what do you think about that? Have you heard of it? Or I just watched this awesome video by Jordan Peterson. I don't care what you think about him or whatever. And he was talking about this and it made me realize this. And it's just so cool. Have you ever watched him? Or let's see, I just downloaded the TypeMatch app and I'm meeting the most amazing people and you should try it out too." And yeah, total shameless plug there, I'm playing. But do you see how you can do it? Just like take it, "I'm good," and initiate with something new that you actually want to talk about. Like, "Oh, I've just been thinking about this," or "Hey, I just had this crazy idea for this." And if you can't do that, one, it's gonna take a little bit of practice, maybe like this sounds sad or whatever, but maybe keep a list in your phone of the types of things that you might want to initiate with people about as you go about your day, but it'll just become natural. But I really think if you're having a lot of boring conversations or getting stuck in small talk, maybe it's just that you're a boring person. You got to take responsibility on yourself. It's not just up to other people to come up and entertain you because everybody kind of sucks at this. And they're just trying to be nice. So be nice in return. Be nice to them. Be nice to yourselves by starting up a more interesting topic. You can get from small talk to big talk really quickly with just like quick little maneuver over here to this more interesting thing. And yeah, you have to understand who you're talking to, like your target audience and the situation. Don't do this to the grocery store clerk unless you just want to practice on them. But read the room a little bit. If somebody's coming up to you to start small talk with you, maybe you know a little bit about them already and have like a point of interest. Like maybe I'm talking to a fellow entrepreneur. Like, "Hey, how's it going?" Like, "Oh, things are good. I've just been reading this really good book, Venture Deals." And no, this isn't an ad for Brad Feld Venture Deals or whatever, but I could talk about how like, "Oh yeah, this is like the playbook for raising venture capital," and I've been diving into that a bit. And that sparks up a conversation between us that's not just like, "How are you?" "I'm good." "What have you been up to?" "Nothing." Like, if that's all you've got to offer, like, okay, go out and do some stuff so you have something to talk about. I don't know why this is so like obvious to me and comes so naturally to me and some other people, but not to others. But I think it is tied to type. If you watch Joe Rogan, like, don't just watch Joe Rogan, pay attention to what he's doing. He is a brilliant podcaster, and it's because his podcast doesn't sound like an interview. He's not coming in with a list of questions, and he's practiced. He obviously has thousands of episodes and his episodes are like 2 or 3 hours a piece. So he's literally a master of conversation now. But it's because he's just like, he's giving and he's responding to what the other person says instead of like coming in. And, you know, if you think that this is natural for people to do, to talk, like watch some other people's podcasts. There are a lot of horrible podcasts out there. And it's just because people don't know how to have a conversation. You can make any topic interesting if you just understand how to properly listen and initiate interesting questions with somebody. So I hope that this helps out. Maybe just even that quick little tip. I decided to do this because I made a post on Instagram. It was like how to maneuver out of small talk. Them, how are you? You. I'm great. I was just reading this book, or I just watched this video, or I was just thinking about blank, and it reminded me of this, or it connected to this, or it made me realize this, and what do you think about that? And pretty soon you're in an interesting conversation, and the other person appreciates that as well. And not everybody can reciprocate on your level, but I think you'll find that people can offer a lot more interesting insights than you would have ever discovered or given them credit for. So that's my advice today on how to get out of small talk. You could check out TypeMatch on Android and iOS. It's a free MBTI based dating app, and typematchapp.com for more information.